Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson by VBES Inglese per Italiani. Today's lesson is an advanced lesson, so it's for you C1 or C2 English speakers who want to learn more about how to conduct yourselves when you make telephone calls or you receive telephone calls. So, as usual, there is a worksheet downloadable from the link under this YouTube video. You can use the worksheet to help you follow today's lesson and also to help you memorize the expressions that you will hear. So we're going to hear some expressions in English, we're going to hear the Italian translation or the equivalent in Italian, and some common responses. Then we're going to hear some common vocabulary, so things like phrasal verbs, idioms, collocations with their Italian translation. Then we're going to hear some techniques for professional telephone calls in English. In the worksheet also you will find some exercises at the end to help you consolidate this new language, and of course you will find the answers at the end so you can practice them independently of a teacher. Okay, so let's begin. First I'm going to read this introductory paragraph that you'll find in the worksheet, but in English. So it says, grammatical correctness alone is not enough for high-level professional phone calls. The real difference lies in the ability to use idioms, manage the conversation's pace, and adapt your register to the person you're speaking with. A C1/C2 speaker knows how to negotiate, handle objections, and wrap up a call naturally without sounding forced. In this guide you will find idioms used in professional settings, common vocabulary and phrasal verbs for business calls, and techniques for conducting a phone conversation effectively and confidently. Here are some common idioms used in professional phone calls. The first one is, I was wondering if we could touch base sometime this week. Mi chiedevo se potessimo sentirci per un aggiornamento questa settimana. And a common response in English would be, sure. How does Thursday afternoon sound? You might say, I'm afraid something's come up and I'll need to push back our call. Temo sia sopraggiunto un imprevisto e dovrò posticipare la nostra chiamata. And a common response in English could be, no problem, just let me know a new time. You might hear, could we circle back to the budget issue later in the call? Potremmo tornare sulla questione del budget più avanti nella chiamata. Of course, let's park that for now. You could hear, I don't want to put you on the spot, but could you give me a rough estimate? Non voglio metterla in difficoltà, ma potrebbe darmi una stima approssimativa. And you might say, off the top of my head, I'd say around 2 weeks. The next expression in our list is, let's cut to the chase. What's the bottom line here? Andiamo dritto al punto. Qual è la conclusione? And a common response is, bottom line, we need another 2 weeks. The next expression is, I'll loop in our technical team and get back to you by end of day. Coinvolgerò il nostro team tecnico e le farò sapere entro fine giornata. And the answer, or a common answer, could be, perfect, I'll keep an eye out for your email. The next expression is, just to be on the same page, are we talking about the Q3 figures? Solo per essere sicuri di essere allineati, stiamo parlando dei dati del terzo trimestre? And a common answer would be, yes, exactly those. The next expression is, I hate to cut you off, but I'm afraid we're running out of time. Mi dispiace interromperla, ma temo che il tempo a disposizione stia per finire. And a common answer would be, no worries, let's wrap up. The next expression is, could you bear with me for a moment while I pull up the file? Potrebbe pazientare un momento mentre recupero il file. And a common response in English is, take your time. And the final expression in our list today is, I think we're on the same wavelength here. Penso che siamo sulla stessa lunghezza d'onda. And a common answer is, absolutely, glad we agree. Let's move on to the next section here, which is advanced vocabulary, phrasal verbs, idioms, and English collocations that we might use on the telephone at work. So the first one is to touch base, sentirsi per un aggiornamento. We've got to push back a meeting or call, posticipare. To circle back to something, tornare su un argomento. To put someone on the spot, mettere qualcuno in difficoltà. To cut to the chase, andare dritti al punto. The bottom line, la conclusione o punto essenziale. To loop someone in, coinvolgere qualcuno. To be on the same page, essere allineati, d'accordo. To cut someone off, interrompere qualcuno. To bear with someone, pazientare con qualcuno. To be on the same wavelength, essere sulla stessa lunghezza d'onda. To table a discussion, rimandare, accantonare una discussione. To iron out the details, risolvere, appianare I dettagli. To get back to someone, ricontattare qualcuno. A follow-up call, una chiamata di follow-up. To reach out to someone, contattare qualcuno. To keep someone posted, tenere qualcuno aggiornato. To run something by someone, sottoporre qualcosa al parere di qualcuno. Small talk, conversazione informale o chiacchiere. To wrap up a call, concludere una chiamata. Let's look at the final section of today's lesson, telephone calls in English. Beyond vocabulary, certain communication techniques help you conduct a professional call with confidence and natural ease. The first one is active listening. Confirm understanding with brief verbal cues, for example, I see, right, or got it, and paraphrase key points before responding. Managing pauses. Don't fear silence. A brief pause before answering conveys confidence, not hesitation. Avoid filling every pause with Adapting tone and pace. Slow down slightly when speaking with non-native speakers and mirror the other person's tone to build rapport. Structuring the call. Start by stating the call's purpose, cover main points in order of priority, and conclude by summarising any agreements reached. Handling objections diplomatically. Use hedging language such as, I see your point, but perhaps we could also consider, to express disagreement without creating tension. Confirming next steps. Always conclude by summarising who will do what and by when. So, just to confirm, I'll send the proposal by Friday and you'll get back to me next week. Use attenuated language, hedging. Expressions such as, I was wondering if, could that apply, or perhaps we could, make requests more polite and less direct. And finally, close the call professionally. Say thanks, confirm next contact, and use a natural closing. Thank you for your time today. I'll get back to you by email. I hope today's lesson has been interesting for you and you enjoy the worksheet and the exercises there. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.